This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Our weather impact alert continues with dangerous heat and humidity around the St. Louis area. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. We're also tracking some rain around the bi-state this evening, so let's send it right over to meteorologist Jim Castillo. Jim?
Yeah, it's very steamy. It is hot out there. Maybe not as hot as yesterday, but those showers and storms, we had them overnight last night. And even Lambert had 3/10 of an inch of rain. And right now, the focus is around southern portions of Jefferson County. You're seeing some lightning in this area here. Let's zoom in a little bit. And where you see the reds, those are some heavy downpours. Cedar Hill, all the way to almost Peevely here. Again, this is not severe, but maybe some wind gusts to about 40 miles an hour. And then this huge complex of storms, sub-severe or not severe, but definitely some heavy rain in here from Bloomsdale to Zell, almost to St. Genevieve now, and then pushing into Randolph County in Illinois. So how much rain? If you didn't see the rain, you had barely anything. So Wildwood 0.02, but Pacific, Missouri, 6,900ths, and at Lambert, there's that 3/10. Alton, Illinois, the north side, about a half an inch, and Edwardsville, 1,700ths. Current temperature is 92, but it still feels like 99. Remember, yesterday we were at 102, that record high that we tied, set back in 1881. Humidity, that's the issue. That's been way up, so that heat advisory continues for the metro and more thunderstorm chances. I'll have much more on that in detail. The outlook for the weekend coming up.
All right, Jim. And to find a cooling center in your area, just text the word heat to 314-425-5355.
Today, Marcelus Williams was back in a St. Louis County courtroom fighting to avoid the death penalty.
Williams is on death row for a 1998 murder, but he has said that he is innocent. His execution is less than a month away. Justina Coronel has been in the courtroom. She joins us live from county courts in Clayton. Justina.
Well, just moments ago, that hearing wrapped up. A ton of activity out here now. We're about to do some interviews, but let's talk about what led here today to today's evidentiary hearing. Now, Marcelus Williams and his attorneys tried to reach a plea last week to avoid the death penalty. The Missouri Attorney General appealed that decision, and the Missouri Supreme Court sided with the Attorney General, saying that there needed to be an evidentiary hearing today. So let's break down some of those key points from today's hearing. A certified forensic interview said the two main witnesses in the original trial were unreliable, despite the original prosecutor, Keith Larner, calling them great witnesses. Now, the key element here is the DNA. An expert in DNA testing said Marcelus Williams' DNA was not on the murder weapon. Last week, we learned new testing determined DNA actually came from an investigator on the case, and testing couldn't exclude Larner, the original prosecutor. And today, Larner took the stand. Before trial in 2001, Larner explained a detective told him the killer wore gloves. And that's why he admitted he touched the knife without gloves, because he thought the knife wasn't linked to anyone, the testing wasn't done, and he believed the lab did its original job. Now, Williams' attorneys also tried to say in court that there was racial bias due to lack of black jurors in the original case. Now, again, that hearing, I should say, just wrapped up, and now it's in the hands of the judge. Reporting live, Justina Coronel, 5 on your side.
Tonight, police are investigating after a man who was set on fire died in North St. Louis. Police got a call for shots fired last night around 10. Officers found the man on fire in an alley off Thrush Avenue. Police say they're waiting on the medical examiner to figure out how he died, but anyone with information is asked to call police.
And police are investigating after an SUV went into a building in Hazelwood. It happened just a few hours ago at the Riverdale Packing Corporation on Hazelwood Avenue. An employee tells us her van was parked when another driver went off the road and into the parking lot, pushing her van into the building. No word on any injuries. Tonight, St. Louis County police say a woman who was considered a mentor to a 13-year-old is accused of sexually abusing the child.
The woman has been charged with multiple sex crimes. Our Megan Kernan has been looking into this case all day, and Megan joins us in the newsroom.
Police say 25-year-old Brandy James met the young girl at the House of Deliverance Church in St. John. Tonight, the pastor of that church tells us that James has never been an employee or mentor at the church. Court documents say the victim's mother discovered her 13-year-old daughter's diary. In it, her daughter wrote she had been involved in sexual acts with a church mentor. Investigators say they found proof on the girl's phone that she had been sexually abused at least twice in 2022. The victim said the sexual abuse happened over the clothes. The church's pastor, Eric Battle, said in a statement about James that her relationship with the alleged victim took place outside of the church without any involvement with the church. The church is and has been willing to assist in the investigation in any way we can. Amy Robbins, a manager of forensic services at the Child Advocacy Center, says 90% of the time, a child is victimized by someone they know or trust.
Typically, abuse starts with first looking for a vulnerable child that they can build that relationship with, and then what we would call manipulate or grooming the situation or the environment in order to make sure that they can take advantage of them in those ways.
Because of the access that Brandy James had with juveniles, St. Louis County Police are urging anyone who believes they may have been victimized by James or have any information about this case to come forward and contact their detectives with the Child Abuse Unit at 314-615-5400.
Well, today we learned that Ted Drewes Jr. has passed away. He became the face of the frozen custard empire after his father started it all. Ted Drewes Jr. expanded it and kept it going for generations. He was 96 years old, and there are plans underway for a memorial service. What started out as a headache turned into paralysis from the neck down in just a matter of days.
Doctors diagnosed a teen from Hazelwood with rare complications from a common late summer virus. Tracy Henson has the warning from experts and an appeal from the teen's parents.
His speech was slurred. He couldn't raise his arms up and he couldn't smile.
John thought his son BB was having a stroke.
They took him into intensive care immediately, and within a few minutes they put him on a ventilator.
The recent high school graduate is fighting West Nile virus.
It'd be just like having a flu with muscle aches, joint pains, abdominal pain, fever, headache, the usual very non-specific type of symptoms associated with viral infections.
And then there's cases like BB's.
A small fraction will actually develop what we'll call neuroinvasive disease, which is the attack of the virus on our nervous system, the brain or the spinal cord.
BB's doctors say he can recover with intensive therapy and time, which is why his family is asking for help.
If anyone would be interested in helping with him in his recovery, he does have a GoFundMe that we have established. Every penny of that GoFundMe is going to go specifically to his rehab and therapy to get him back walking and doing everything that a normal teenager should be able to do.
While BB recovers, St. Louis County teams continue to track West Nile.
Typically throughout the mosquito season, there's really not much West Nile at the beginning of the year, but by about this time of the year, we see it pretty much everywhere throughout St. Louis County.
Bug spray and limiting time outdoors are the only option for lowering your risk of contracting West Nile virus. Tracy Henson, 5 on your side.
Another roadblock for President Biden's student debt relief plan, the decision dropping today from the Supreme Court.
Israel starts raids in the West Bank, what it says led to the largest military operation in that area in decades.
The Paris Paralympics are now underway. Meet the local athlete competing for Team USA.